There may be more women who cast their ballots on Election Day, but it's rare that it's a vote for a female candidate. Women make up only 18.5% of Congress and 22% of state legislatures. The percentage is even smaller in Oklahoma. Only 13% of Oklahoma legislators are women. Colorado has the highest female representation at 41%. Mana Tahey is the director of the Inclusion Institute of the Tulsa chapter of the YWCA.
I think that Center for American Progress gave us an F last year on our representation at all levels. I think it's a confluence of factors.
She says most women don't have the money behind them to run.
Campaigns are expensive, and generally speaking, you have to know people with money, and you have to have money in order to be able to even consider being a candidate, much less be a successful one. And as long as there is economic inequality among any groups, especially among men and women, you're going to see political representation inequality because of that.
Emily Davis is the administrative director for the Tulsa League of Women Voters.
It's tough out there. I mean, I think it's a tough job, and anybody who would run for office would have to really think long and hard about how it changes your life. And I think for a lot of women, it's just the fight isn't worth it. That would be my personal opinion. I don't think it would be worth it.
Rachel Brewer is with the Republican Women's Club of Tulsa County.
When it comes to engaging women in politics, I think so many see the federal level game as just, it's dirty. They feel like it's dirty and they don't want to be involved in some of it. They see the things that happen back and forth between parties, even within the parties, how they'll treat people.
Michael Whelan is chairman of the Tulsa County Democratic Party.
I think women are adverse to the sort of hard line, my way or the highway way that politics has become in this country. So I think generally, and there are always exceptions to the rule, I think women are sort of looking for that change, and I think they will be a big part of that change looking forward, particularly into 2016.
Whelan says the Democratic Party is actively recruiting women to run for office. Only one woman, State Senator Connie Johnson, is running for a federal office this political season. Brewer believes a female candidate has no bigger appeal than a male.
I don't think there are any differences in what either gender looks for. I think men and women both want the best candidate for the job.
She says women are wielding their influence in ways other than just holding office.
I will say there are a lot of great legislators that are men that do a wonderful job of engaging their wives. And I see a lot of wives that are very active in our local RWC with the Tulsa Republicans, and they have a very open dialogue with their spouse about what's going on at the Capitol, and many of the men will listen to their wives and take feedback and use that at the Capitol.
Rachel Harrison is also a member of the Republican Women's Club of Tulsa County. She says there is one issue all women, both Democrats and Republicans, agree on.
Equal pay, I think, is very important, especially for women who are that work in largely male-dominated areas that work just as hard or even harder than them, and they do deserve to be compensated for their work, not for their gender.
Mary Jane Lindeman is the Voter Services Chair for the League of Women Voters in Oklahoma. She thinks there is a definite distinction between what men and women look for in candidates.
One of the things that I particularly find offensive from men candidates is their patronizing and kind of being dismissive of women in a lot of respects and saying, we'll take care of you. And I think women by and large find that to be distasteful.
28-year-old Emily Davis believes many candidates talk down to both male and female constituents, and that those of the millennial generation don't like it.
I think a lot of people in my generation, women and men, just share the frustration that goes along with politics in today's day and age. It's very negative oftentimes, and I think we just want the best candidate regardless of if they're a man or a woman.
I think there are certain issues where women have more of a vested interest, workplace fairness and inequality. reproductive health and reproductive freedom.
Brewer believes there are more important issues than reproduction.
There are already laws that said abortion is legal, and we're not going to, unfortunately, be able to change that. So there's no sense in focusing on that, to me, and really going after things like making sure that we're pro-business, that we are also doing what we can to keep a limited level of government within Oklahoma, and that our state's spending their money wisely, that our education in Oklahoma is improved.
On November 4th, Oklahomans will decide who will replace Janet Barisi as Superintendent of Public Instruction. Voters will also elect a governor, lieutenant governor, commissioner of labor, 2 United States senators, and 4 U.S. congressmen. They will also determine the outcomes of close to 50 state legislative races.